Well. That was frustrating, to say the least, I think. A very irritating game in general. Sorry, let me just adjust this ever so slightly. Yeah, a very, very frustrating game. I'm tough. A tough one to end to go into this long break with, because you certainly feel United probably should have had more out of this. There's a few different points to discuss about this. You know what I mean? A few different things to discuss about this when you look at it, and you've got to be able to have a couple of different discussions over the game itself. Number one, there is no doubt about it. The refs made poor calls. The one on Ahmad is a pen. If the one on Maguire is a pen, the one on Ahmad is a pen. The other way around. I mean, the one that Maguire commits is a pen. The one that Ahmad commits is a pen. At the same time, when I look at the games, when I look at what happens, why are we in that situation where Maguire has to bring a player down? Casemiro. For the whole game, Casemiro was awful. Really, really, really bad. So for me, it's two different discussions, because I look at it and I go, referees absolutely took us out of the game. They took us out of, it should have been over and done with. But when it isn't, you still have to play the game. You still have to deal with it. You still have to, you still have to get through it in the same way as ever. You still have to play the game that's in front of you at that point in time. And we were shit at that. When Ahmad doesn't get his penalty and they go right down the other way and score, to me, it's inexcusable. And I really don't care at that point in time that the referee misses the call. I get it. He misses the call. But why would you go down man to man and then concede right afterwards? Just poor defending, just poor in that sense. And I think the problem that I have with this game in general is that when we're up 1-0 and then the pen happens for Ahmad, that should have been a pen. Fine. We don't get it. Go down the other end, concede right behind Casemiro. At that point, Casemiro should have come off. Then we go back and get 2-1, get ahead, and then Casemiro is giving the ball over and over and over and over and over again and letting the play go behind him, and we give up another one. Just bear in mind here for a moment, it's 1-0. 1-0 when the ref makes that bad call. 100%. Changes the state of the game. No doubt about that. It's 1-0. But everything that happens after that is our fault, is a consequence of our own actions as a team. We lost 2-1 after that moment in time. That's still us. That's still on us. At the end of the day, that is still on the team, and it is still on us, the outcome of that game, one way or another. Because we lost it 2-1 after that point in time. We did. We just did. I don't know. It's very, very frustrating in that sense. And I don't think that we should necessarily excuse the actions in that case of what happens, because you still have to play the game in front of you. We've dealt with this previously in the season. We've dealt with this in many, we have plenty of time where, no, I didn't say just because we made mistakes doesn't mean the ref should be piss poor. That's not what I said. I said the exact opposite. I said you have to be able to talk about two different things. You go through a shit ref decision. Fine. How many times has it happened this year? Many, 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 many times. It's happened this year. And many times in the future, we're going to deal with bad reffing decisions. So what do? Roll over? Play like shit because the ref made a bad call? Make mistakes? Give the ball away? say it's not our fault when we play poorly after that because the ref makes mistakes. I don't think that that's acceptable either. You know, when we lost 3-1 to Bournemouth earlier this season, we missed a penalty. They should have had a red card. We still played poorly in that game, and nobody sat there for the week after saying, well, it was okay. It's all good because the ref screwed up. No, there was in terms of the game itself, I think it was not good. Brentford, that happened. Yeah. The game itself, I think, was not good. I just don't think it was a very good game. I really don't. And nobody's making excuses, you know. I'm just saying I'm used to there being bad ref calls, and it happens all the fucking time, and it's very frustrating. And I think we'd have 3 points if not for that. But I don't think it was a good game in general. I don't think it was a good game in general. I think it was really, really ugly. You know, like, I'm looking at the decisions that are made at the points in time that they are made. You know, when we went down, when we went 1-1, I think we needed changes at that point in time. And when we went up 2-1, I think we needed more changes at that point in time. And it cost us. They're two different discussions at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Ahmad thing happened 10 minutes earlier, man. It happened 10 minutes earlier. You know, you still have to be, you still have to deal with what's in front of you. That's all I'm getting at. I don't think it was a good game in general. You know, I don't think it was. I mean, again, it was very similar to the 4-4 at home against Bournemouth in a lot of the same ways. In a lot of the same ways in that respect. But yeah, I think that it's just a frustrating game to go into the break with because it's very tough. It's very, very tough. And no, I don't think it's a center back's fault that we're conceding goals in either case, to be honest. But no, I don't think we were good today. I don't think we were good at all, actually. I think we were actually really poor. I don't know. I saw that game a lot differently. I was really frustrated with that game. I think that we had a good about first 20 minutes. And after that, it fell off massively. Bournemouth really figured us out. They were playing through us consistently. They baited the press, played through, baited the press, played through. It's a lot of what we've seen game to game to game to game to game. You know, we barely sniffed the ball after 25 minutes in the first half. You know, and in the second half, we did well for about the 5-minute stretch that we scored. And otherwise, we did not have the ball much. I'm not surprised we got a draw, and I'm not surprised that it went this way. And again, I think that if not for the refs, we still pull, of course, the 3 points out and win the game. But I don't know. I think it was a rough watch. I really think it was a rough watch. You didn't see it that way. I think people. I think it's kind of amusing seeing the way that's different. I mean, let's look at it by the numbers. This is what tells you the tale of the game. This is blue. We barely had the ball from this point on the entire game. Second half, we didn't, for first like 13 minutes, we didn't touch the ball until Cunha took over and got a penalty. It was bad. And I'm saying, here's where we get the red. We still didn't have control of the game at this point in time. And all I'm getting at is I truly believe, like, look at where the pen happens. This is all the time before it. You know, I just think we managed this game really poorly in that respect. I think if you were to rewatch it, we had a few up and down moments, but it wasn't good. I just think it was a really mediocre, not just mediocre, but poor game in general. And the thing about it is that I get it, but I think this is just what we've done for the most part, is that, you know, I don't know how to put it, but I keep kind of saying that we we're playing in these small margins. We're playing in these small margins where the game can be turned by a moment. And I get it. It's a moment. Ahmad ideally should have a penalty and should score. Fine. Okay. But what else could we have done to play better in this game? For one, playing in Bumo at 9 was completely ineffective the whole game once again. And again, we end up bringing Šeško on where he gets 5 minutes of 11v11 in a bad game state. And it's like, what's the point? And Bumo at 9 isn't it at all. It like, just forget everything else for a moment and actually just look at a few things. There is absolutely no reason to play Mbumo at 9. There was none. It had zero positive impact on the game. It was only negative. That's what I'm talking about. Is I'm just saying it feels like, regardless of like being robbed by the ref, I just don't understand that. I don't understand it every game, and I don't understand it after. I don't see anything that it provided to us. I think we could play better where the margins aren't so fine that one thing goes the other way and we're screwed. Because that's my point on this, is that if you play within these really, really fine margins, you leave yourself at the mercy of these decisions. You leave yourselves at the mercy of a ref screwing you over. You leave yourselves at the mercy of a missed thing. And it's been this way for a long time. It's not like it's just Carrick. It's the reality of, to a degree, of our whole team. But I just don't understand. Like, why, I'm looking at that and I'm going, why does Mbumo need to start at the 9? I don't understand that. I really, 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 really don't understand that. Why he's got to start at the 9. And secondly, here's the other point I'm making, okay? Because people are going, well, Ugarte wasn't good, came on. You're right, he wasn't. But he came on and it's when you're down a man. Like, it's sort of silly. But I'll turn it a different direction. Why do we have to play 4-4-2 every second of every game now? I thought that we didn't need to. We've gone from we have to play 3-4-3 every second of every game, no matter what game state. So we have to play 4-4-2 every second of every game, no matter what game state. And they both bring similar problems. And that similar problem is this. It's a 2-man midfield. When we're up 2-1, why can't you bring on another player into the midfield? Like Mason Mount, for example. Say you don't want to bring on Ugarte. Why can't you bring on Mason Mount and add a man to the midfield? Because all Bournemouth were doing was baiting the press in the center and playing through the middle over and over and over and over and over again. And they were running through us. Just why can't we change formation? All I'm saying is I thought that the lack of flexibility was this huge problem. Now it's not. No, I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about the fact that we cannot change formation no matter what happens. Why did we stick with a 4-4-2 when the midfield was getting completely destroyed yet again? Why? Add a man to the midfield. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's the same point of like, why did we have to stick with 3 center backs when we were up a man? Why did we have to stick with 3 center backs when we were up a man against Everton? People made that point. They were correct. Why did we have to stick with 5 defenders when we were up a man? It's the same point as why do we have to stick with 2 midfielders when we're getting overrun in the middle? I don't get it. I think we could be so much better than this. I think we could have been so much better than this today. That's all I'm saying is why the inflexibility in these moments, regardless of anything else. There's just no reason we can't add a man to the midfield. We could have taken Mbumo off for Mason Mount as an extra midfielder, and we would have been better, period. We would have been better. And we probably would have shut things down. And I guess I'm just curious, why not, man? Like, I just don't understand that. That's all I'm saying, separate to the point of the referees robbed us. But Casemiro was killing us ourselves. He was killing us. It was one of the worst games from him I've ever seen. It was really bad. And I'm just going, do something. Like, in that moment, you're sitting there, right? You're sitting there at, I don't know, 60 minutes. You're up 2-1. The Ahmad thing is in the past at that point in time. We can discuss it as fans. And in the grand scheme of things, we can look at it at the ref and say, you fucked us. You absolutely fucked us in this game. And I think that is totally true. And we should be furious about it. And we should be angry about it. And we should be upset about it. But you know what? Arsenal, week 1, Gabriel stamps on Cunha's foot in the box. We don't get a penalty. We lose that game. We can be mad about it, but we still lost the game. And people still got really pissed about the decision to bring on Ugarte instead of Menu in week 1, understandably, because you're bringing on a defensive player when you're chasing it. But we should have had a penalty. It was a clear penalty the refs missed. You know, you get screwed by refs. It happens. I'm still looking at what we are doing, what we can control in these games. You're still looking at that. You're still understanding that. And in this point, I'm saying at 60 minutes into the game, you're up 2-1. You've just scored. Again, you get an own goal, which was an own goal. We had a bit of luck in this game. The foul on Cunha was awful. The own goal was kind of funny. You know what I mean? Like, even the Ahmad pen, it's unnecessary. If you want to look at the difference in the scenarios, they didn't need to foul Ahmad. What was he going to do with it? You know? And I look at it and I go, you got the fortune. You're 2-1 up. At that point in time, what can you do to see out that game? The pen's in the past, man. I'm sorry, but it's in the past. 2 goals have happened since then. You've conceded and you've scored. So you're in the same situation that you were at before. What can you do in that moment? And I think we screwed it up. I think we screwed it up at that point in time. You know, that's all I'm saying. I think we really screwed it up at that point in time. Like, statistically here, we had 3 shots to 11 in the second half. You know, if you want to look at it by the numbers, there's 2 penalties in here. But we had 11 shots to 3 in the second half. They made 0 saves in the second half. We had 1 shot on target, which was the penalty in the second half. You know, look at our passes in the second half. We had half the number of passes. We had half the final third entries. We were terrible in that second half. And that wasn't just the refereeing. We were poor. We were getting beat 11v11. That's all I'm saying. That's just, I just think we could have done a lot better in that sense. And it was irritating. You know what I mean? And I think that if you want to look at the difference in the penalties that happened, I look at it and I go, how did we allow a player to get one-on-one with the keeper where Maguire has to push him over? How? I'm upset about that. That's bad defending from us as a team. Like, it is. How did we put ourselves in a situation where we have to give away a penalty and a red card? That is worth discussing at the same time as it. And right now I'm irritated, and it's about this game in general. We're going to be okay. But how did we end up in that situation where now Maguire's going to miss leads? And I think that that's real trouble for us. You know? And I look at those things and I think we could have prevented that probably at that point in time. And it's just, I don't know, man. To me, it's fucking 15 minutes after the other thing. So whatever happened, you still have to play the game in front of you. Like, you still have to play to the whistle. In any sport, you have to play to the whistle. You can't just say, well, ref screwed it. I guess I'll just stop playing football, because we're going to get screwed again, man. We know the standard of officiating in England is fucking awful, and it's going to stay awful. I don't know. Hopefully Dorgu left back and Shaw left center back for one game. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I'd be happy about that. But, no, Casemiro, not one more year. Definitely not. Not one more year. Never again. You're worried about us versus Brentford? We should be worried about some of these games, But look, a point in itself is okay for me. I kind of expected it would be tough. It was going to be grind out, and that we might get a point. And in that respect, it's fine. And look, at the end of the day, I don't know, man. I just think that I just would like to see a little bit more. I'd like to see a little bit more, I don't know, creativity, invention. I'd like to see a little more something. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like we could have done something else in this game. I missed this one. Connor says he'll pick the exact same team against Leeds. Well, can't pick the exact same teams, but yeah. Like, I think we've done enough to be in Champions League. I think we'll stay in third. I think we'll be well up, but I'm just worried. There's enough games left that I just like. We looked really bad after 2 weeks off last time. Now we're gonna have 3 weeks without football, 23 games without football, and I just go, how are we gonna look when we come back on that? Is it gonna be worse? Because I feel like right now we're still playing on coin flips and hoping that our players will carry us through. I said in the pre-match, my worry is that we keep playing as if we want to win the last 30 minutes of the game, but I would like to win the first 60 minutes of the game, because this is the kind of shit that happens when you can't be good for the whole game. It's just irritating. I don't know. It's frustrating at this point, because we missed the penalty on Ahmad. We should be up 2, but then we're up 2-1 after that. And I'm saying, good, you're up a goal. We're up a goal. Can we just be smart at that point? And that's where I think we screwed it up. But it was I don't know. I'm surprised to see how many people thought we played well today, because I thought we played terribly. I thought we played pretty bad. I thought we played mostly for counterattacks, and our forwards were very, very isolated. There were so many moments when, Ahmad or Cunha looks up and there's nobody in front of them. Nobody. And they just have to stop and turn around and go backwards because there's just nobody, And I just look at the decisions that are being made. Like, Mbumo in the middle, for me, just does absolutely nothing. And I'm looking at what can we control. There's things we can't control. But like, if we're going to play Mbumo in the center, we might as well just play Mason Mount and go, 4-3, 4-5-2 or something, or 4-5-2. I've got too many players like Todd Bowley. I don't know, 4-5-1 or something. Like, because it just seems pointless. We're sacrificing the focal point up front, but still leaving the midfield wide open. I don't know why we're doing that. I don't see what advantage it gives us. I don't see where it did anything. Almost all of our good moments came from Cunha being pretty brilliant. Cunha had a really, really good game. Him coming off, I think, was also just an awful, awful decision. I don't understand that. Cunha was really, really good today. Almost all the bright sparks came from Cunha. But every time Cunha, right before the penalty that we got, right? Was it the penalty or Maguire scoring? I don't know which. Right before the penalty Cunha gets, I think, he makes a great run down the left-hand side, hits a nice cross in, and I'm going, how many times in these games am I going to sit there and go, be nice to have a striker on the pitch right now to get on the end of some of these crosses. It's not like Bournemouth were letting us cross the ball either, but Cunha was burning him down that side over and over, getting by him to hit the ball into the box, but there's nobody there. There was nobody there. Or if somebody was there, they're just getting outbeat because we have 2 5'8" players in the box. So I just look at those kinds of things and I'm like, it just doesn't really make sense to me. It's frustrating. Yeah, I mean, in a vacuum, this is okay, right? And it is. It's okay actually in two senses. And if this game was in a vacuum, I wouldn't particularly be too critical of the game plan and the decisions itself. But it's very similar, and it does feel like the game we're playing is keep it close and then hope that Šeško can come on and win the game. And I'm not sure that I think we can be better than that. And I think that, I don't know how to put this. You can go out of form. You can go out of form. You know what I mean? We can drop, our forwards can drop out of form. Šeško can drop out of form, and then we'll stop winning. If our winning is purely riding on form of one player, you can be in trouble, you know? Maguire was like perfect until today, but I still don't even think it was his fault. In all honesty, we're miraculously making it through these games with the setup in the midfield. You know, I agree with that. Like somebody pointed out earlier, there was a moment in the first half. It was like 3 or 4 minutes into the game where we got numbers in the box, except Casemiro ends up as the most advanced player. Bournemouth get a 3. It was 5 minutes in. This is why I say I don't think we had a good game, and I think people don't remember. 4 minutes into the game, we try to attack. Casemiro's the furthest player forward. They counter. Ryan gets in behind Shaw, and Ryan is there. Evan Nilsson is on the other side. They're 2-0 against Lamens, and they screw it up. That was 4 minutes into the game. We should have been down a goal. So, yeah, I don't think we were very good. We've rode the luck quite a bit of teams missing their chances, you know, in general, while we're taking most all of our chances and outdoing ourselves in a lot of instances. You know what I mean? We should have been down 1-0 4 minutes into the game. That counter, they're 2-0 with Lamens. Ryan tries to finish it in the corner and misses. He could have finished. He could have passed it over to Evan Nilsson, and it would have been a tap-in. It was bad. And so I don't know. I'm surprised people aren't seeing it that way, because we could have, that was like the best chance of the game was that, you know, that was the best open play chance of the entire game, was 4 minutes in, Bournemouth on the counter. What about when Ahmad was in and had a horrible first touch? He wasn't that close, but I do agree. Ahmad messed up that moment. I do agree. Ahmad messed up that moment as well, but it was much less of a chance than that one. It was much further out from goal when it happened. And, you know, you're taking a pass on the run at that point in time. But I agree. It was a poor touch from Ahmad, and obviously both teams have our chances. Ahmad, Bruno, and Cunha had chance. I don't think that's really I don't think those were particularly amazing chances. The Ahmad one was probably the closest thing, but you know, Bruno's chance was a very, very good save, but whatever, you know what I mean? But look, this thing of getting a lead and conceding happens every single game. It happens every single game. And it hasn't stopped, and it is quite frustrating. But I don't know, man. I ain't got the answers. I bounce back and forth in midweek, after, beforehand. The only thing I will say is this, is that there are so many things that are definitely out of Carrick's control that there's nothing he can do anything about, right? There are so many deficiencies in the squad, deficiencies in the team, things that we can't solve. But there's still, I think, some very, very questionable decisions that can be made, because that's been the case all year. You know, like this game was a horrible usage of Benjamin Šeško. He should have been on, even if he wasn't starting, he should have been on way earlier. Like, it wasn't even funny. He should have been starting way earlier. And the second thing is, in game, I think that we should be able to be a little more flexible in some of the decisions that get made. But like, this Šeško thing is genuinely baffling, because regardless of, like, the reason I disagree with it is we keep doing this results-based analysis doesn't give you the right answer. Just because you're winning more often than not doesn't mean not starting Šeško is the right call. You know, how do we know that starting Šeško, we wouldn't be up 2 goals instead of needing Šeško to save us? How do we know? We don't. It's pure results-based, analysis, and it wasn't. And when you just look at it separately, there's no advantage to playing Mbeumo at the 9. None. It genuinely doesn't bring anything to the table, and I don't get that. I just don't quite understand it. It's a weird decision. It's sort of baffling, and one of the main reasons for it is, like, Bournemouth's press is really good. It's one of the things they do really well under Iraola. Bournemouth's press is really good. If we had a large player, maybe a 6'5" Slovenian who can leap to the moon up top, then when we're constantly forced back to Lamens to go long, instead of it flicking off of Mbeumo's head to nobody, because he's 5'8", it would go to Šeško, who could win it, take it down, back Bournemouth's press off by going over the top of it. Because genuinely, if you can't play through a team's press, you go over it, and that's how you're backing it up. It would make sense to play the big guy to do that. And there's so many reasons that he should be playing. It's just very, very weird to me. Very, very weird to me that we're not doing that. It's such an obvious disadvantage we're putting ourselves in every game. I don't know. I don't understand it. In my opinion, Carrick already has the job. No, but I certainly think that he's the favorite for it, and I understand it. I understand that as well. It's just I question things at the same time, because I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. Šeško's slow to press. Fine, our press is terrible. Bournemouth, from about 30 minutes on, just kept baiting our press. They would just pass around the back until we pressed, and then they play right behind Gabi and Casemiro. Over and over and over and over and over again. And they did it for the next, 50 minutes, man. Like, I don't know. The press is terrible right now. Our press is an enemy of the team at the moment. I just wish we would drop it. You know what I mean? I just wish we should drop it entirely, because I just don't even know what the point is of it. I don't understand it. And I feel like Mbeumo's just failing here, and I'm not sure what to do about that. It's very strange. Yeah, set up in a mid block. Exactly. I agree. I don't know. It's just frustrating. What can I say? It's just a frustrating game because I still think we can. Like I said, I think so long as we are as long as our strategy is to keep the game tight and hope the coin flip goes our direction with slightly better players, these things will happen. These games will happen. And I look at our last 5 and I go, it's not been very good, has it? Like, draw, win, loss, win, win, draw. It's not bad, but it's not good either at the moment. The last 6 games we have, I don't know, it's not terrible. 11 points. So we've fallen just under the 2 points per game. And it's sort of just getting worse, like a little bit. It's just a little bit getting worse, and I'm a little worried. I think we have enough of a gap that it's going to be okay. And again, this chase for top 5 often looks like this. It's like, who's going to stumble the least? Well, we stumbled. I expect somebody else is going to stumble because Liverpool aren't good right now. Chelsea been terrible, and Aston Villa have been terrible. So I still think we'll definitely stumble across the line into top 4. But I do worry we're stumbling. I'd rather we get a little more secure before we start stumbling like this. And I just feel like we could. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we could be winning these. We could have won this a lot cleaner, in essence. You think the 3 teams behind us drop points? I don't think it's completely unlikely. Yeah, we're sleepwalking a bit, for sure. I don't think it's unlikely the other teams drop points. I think they will. And I think that on the balance, we still deserve to be in the top 4, top 5. No doubt about it. But yeah, frustrating. It's still frustrating because we should be doing a little bit better than we are right now. Still, it is what it is in that respect. Don't know. What else can you say about this game here? You know what I mean? It's like, we need to take a look at the team we were playing, their deficiencies. Do they have height? Can we utilize a big center forward? The game plan can't always be just if we're down, put on Šeško. Right. And that's, I guess, what I'm talking about is I'm just looking at it and going, the decisions are still just weird. It's like we've just settled into this is what we're going to do no matter what, whether it makes sense or not. And again, we have good enough players to win games, but make no mistake, we're winning games off the back of, I don't want to say it, but individual brilliance to a large degree, because tactically and decision-wise, we're approaching every game the exact same way. We've not played a game differently since the first game that Carrick came in. We set up in a 4-4-2, and we kind of just go off of that. And then we try to make subs to win the game. And that's okay. We play compact. We win the game with our qualities on the pitch. I mean, that's what Carrick said at the halftime of the Villa game. He was happy with it because we kept it tight. And then we have the player qualities to go win it. And we do. We've got good players. That's why at the start of the season, I felt like we could get, especially with the forwards that we have, that we would be in the top 5 and we would end up in Champions League positions. But yeah, it's just a little scary at the moment. I wish we could pull away enough to not be worried about it, but this is kind of what happens. But yeah, I mean, Stuart Atwell refereeing wise, completely separately, just it's not the first time he's done this to us, and it's not the second time either. And it probably won't be the last time, but I don't know, man. I'm glad they're making more noise about it because I'm glad they're making more noise about it. Either way. But all I'm saying is that, I don't know, man. Like, I can think of a lot of games where the refs have cost us and people didn't spend all game talking about the ref afterwards. You know, like Brentford, for example, like Arsenal. I don't know. There's been a lot of games like that this season. It's not like the officiating's been good for us in general. You know, officiating's been shit consistently for us most of the year. And we still tend to mostly discuss what the team could have done better, should have done better, had to do better in these instances. There's a lot of games like that. But I do think I think at 2-1, we bottled that game. And I do think that that's on the coach and the players on the pitch. I think at 2-1, they screwed it up. You know? That's what I think at the same time. And I just think that's frustrating because I would love to sit here and say it was purely the refs. I just don't believe that. If I believed it, I would say it. So, we were playing better football in that period. I don't think we were. I still just disagree. I don't think we had a stretch beyond the first 10 minutes where we were playing well today. And I get that people feel differently, but I don't see it. I mean, you got to bear in mind here, for what it's worth, we got a red card from Tottenham. We got a red card from Newcastle and lost. We got a red card from Palace. We've been playing in pretty advantageous decisions, all right? So, yeah, I mean, Alex Scott puts in a shot, goes off the bar, bounces back off Lamans. They could have scored, man. I don't think we were playing well. I don't think we played well for any period of time during the second half. I don't know. I really don't. I don't know when we were supposedly playing well. Our only shot on target was the penalty. We were, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it was good. And at 2-1, I remember we were sitting there in the watch-along at 2-1 for about 10 minutes before the red card going, Casemiro, please make a change, Casemiro. And here's why I say, here's the point. And here's why I say it's on Carrick. As soon as the red happened, he took him off. He knew he needed to come off, and he waited too long. That's why I'm saying it's still on us. He had the sub ready to go and planned out, but didn't make it until it was too late. So we're separating the ref out. We're up 2-1. He knew Casemiro had to come off. He knew it. He knew he had to make subs. But he didn't make them till the moment the mistake happened. That's what I'm talking about in terms of being reactive. It's the same thing I see with the not starting Šeško. It's like you can keep saying it's working until it doesn't. Then you start him. Well, maybe be proactive in the decisions that are made rather than reactive. He knew it was a problem. But changed it once we got a red card and a penalty off the back of poor midfield play and a giveaway from Casemiro and poor defending. Like, that to me is a mistake, period. It just is. We looked more solid with 10 and legs than we did with 11. We did. I get people are talking about Ugarte had a bad game. And I was laughing in the middle of the game because I said, it's always hilarious what happens. I swear to God, one way or another, Ugarte's been poor, but I swear to God, he's also the unluckiest player on earth. You sub Ugarte on finally, when suddenly the game is level, you're down a man and you're trying to go get a goal and you're hoping you can go get a goal to win. Sorry, what? Like, that is the worst possible timing for Ugarte to come on. Now you're asking him to go try and get you a goal? Sorry? Like, that's not it. That wasn't it. But it just cracks me up. I don't know. I thought that was really funny in some sense that, like, but again, it wasn't even like you have to put on Ugarte. You don't even have to put on Ugarte. That's where I'm saying you could have changed the midfield. You could have added another midfielder to the middle. Cunha's the best game manager we have. Why did Cunha come off at that point in time? Why did Cunha come off at that point in time? You know, like, Cunha's the best game manager you have. You could have put on Ugarte for Mbeumo and gone with a 3-man midfield and kept Casemiro on at 2-1. Why not? Why not? You could have put Šeško for Ahmad, Ugarte for Mbeumo, and gone with a 3-man midfield when up 2-1. Why not? Why? Why wouldn't that have worked? Anyway, I'm just saying you don't have to play a 4-4-2 with 2 midfielders every second of every game. I don't understand that. The same as we didn't need to play a 5 at the back, up 10 men, or 3 center backs up a man. You don't have to play the same formation every second, regardless of game state. You know, you don't need a 2-man midfield wasn't necessary at that point in the game. We could have changed it. We did not have to play 4-4-2. Like, there are other formations. There are other things you can do. You know, Mason Mount, forget Ugarte. Even Mason Mount coming on to add a 3-man midfield would have helped. You know, I just don't understand that. That's what I don't get. That's ultimately what frustrates me. But for me, it's whatever. At the end, it we'll be all right. We'll get into Champions League still, and that'll be that. and we put a wrap on this season by the end of it. It is frustrating that we go 24 days without a game because I just go, I just want to see something, man. I just want to see something. Like, I've spoken about this before. When I look at Carrick, it's not about, when I look at Carrick, he'll probably get the job. I think the squad is the most important thing. But I also look at it and go, I'm still sort of waiting to see something coaching-wise. Like, as a coach, I'm still waiting to see something as a coach. And I know people say, but we've won more points. Fine, I get that. I don't think that we've won a bunch of points in recent times because of elite coaching. And I'm still waiting to see that to feel more comfortable, like in-game management or something that is changes the game, fixes the problem. You know, that's what I'm looking at and why I'm like, I still haven't seen that. In each game, I'm hoping to see something that makes me feel a little more convinced personally. That's all. Because right now I just have doubts. The problems are unfixable. The problems are totally unfixable. And it is a squad issue. But that doesn't mean you're not looking to see what, if a manager can offer that, like, something. It's hard to describe it, but you know it when you see it. You know what I mean? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can approach every game with the same mentality, but the exact same formation. players, why? We need to go into games with game plans. That's not exactly the same as every single other game. I agree with that. I agree. And again, right now, all I'm saying is as I just look at, I don't disagree. I think that fix the midfield and we'll probably be in a top 4 because we have a top 4 squad. And that's fine. It's just, and I'm not even sure who would be better. And like I say earlier, and I said throughout the whole week, I'm not really opposed to it. And I'm kind of okay with Carrick getting the job. And I can make the argument in his favor on this and say it's a squad issue. But he does feel like a caretaker manager. Like he's not imprinting anything. Or there's not a bravery to try something different. Or like you said here, Dwight, thank you for this. Dwight York, obviously, but you know, to do something to change a game. You know what I mean? It's like either our plan works or it doesn't, and there's no ability to change it. Which I don't know. I'm just not sure. Like I'll if it continues like this, and we get into top 4 of top 5. Let me ask you this question, just to poll this. Listen to the question before you answer the poll. Here's my question. If it continued like this, but we still got into top 5, are you going into it totally comfortable that Carrick's the right guy? Are you okay with it, but you have doubts, or are you unhappy with it? And then here's the poll. So if it continued like this, where would you be at? Because I think I'd find myself in the middle. I'd be okay with it, but I'd have doubts. I definitely wouldn't be comfortable with it. You know what I mean? In-game management is substitutions. In-game management is also formation changes in game. This is where we need to improve massively as well. Well, that's kind of my point, is that like there's player for player subs, but then there's also, you can change shape. You know what I mean? You can change the shape of the team. And I think we've clearly needed to go to a 3-man midfield right now. Like in that game, I think we very much could have changed the shape to shore things up a little bit. Hey, Bruno got awarded that assist, huh? Or no? It counts for FPL. I'm not sure if it counts for the real thing. So yeah, I mean that's where a lot of people are at, you know, looking at that. I think that's the point. Very few people would be comfortable. Most would be okay, or 50% would be okay, but have doubts. And then the rest, and then a number of no's. It's strange. I probably find myself as well in that okay, but would have doubts phase, because I'm just frustrated. I'm like very confused. Can't judge any manager till the mid is sorted, but we judged a manager the whole season up till he got sacked. I guess all I'm saying is that where's the consistency in the discussion? I had doubts about Amorim either way. That's why I wanted to see how he ended the season and went through the second half, and if it got better or not. Because how it was going, I wouldn't have retained him at the end of the season. I would have let him go at the end of the season. Well, I look at Carrick and I go, yeah, I can't really judge until you fix the midfield, but you do have to judge. because you have to decide whether to give the guy the job or not for next year. I don't know. I ain't got the answers. I ain't got the answers. But whatever. Frustrating to drop points before 24 days off. But hopefully some of our chasing teams also drop points, and that helps us. Oh, I know why he got sacked, but I'm just talking about where the discussion was. The discussion aspect of it. You can't say can't judge a player. Can't judge him without the midfield, though. I mean, either way, getting a midfielder in January would have been nice. Your doubts over Carrick feel like suspicions more than points I'm unhappy with. I think any manager's been, yeah, and that's why I'm there. You know, I'm going back and forth myself on it, because I think that, you know, what else can you do in a lot of instances? That's why I focus on the Šeško thing, because that's the one thing that to me is just nonsensical. It is completely, it makes absolutely no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. The Šeško thing. But all right. We were terrible. I'm very confused because I see there's 2 Liams in a row. Look at this. Deserve the win today, definitely. Unusual discussion. We were a terrible watch today. What were people watching? It was so dull. I'm very surprised that people saying it was a good performance. Personally, I thought we were really bad. I thought we were bad for most of the game. We got outplayed. And not to say that Bournemouth had huge number of clear-cut chances, but I mean, they did. They earned a red card against us. Like, you just have to bear that in mind. Even if we should have had a penalty, they earned that red card against us. Same as we earned a red card against Palace when we did it, you know. I think they played really well, all things considered, and bearing in mind that they're missing a few key players as well, and they've lost Semenyo, and they've continued to lose players. Like, this was a worse team than the last time we played them. Poor game today. Take a point away to Bournemouth. Yeah, I mean, there was things like this, like Dallo inverting into the midfield, and maybe because, well, our defending is good, you know, like our defending is okay. Like, I guess my point is that that's how it's been for weeks. We're feeling comfortable because for most of the game, between Lamens, Maguire, and Yoro, we're fine. We're not giving up big chances. But I don't think that means we played well at the same time. I think we were getting pinned quite a lot. I think we were getting held back quite a lot. I think we you know, again, we can create chances in moments of games, and I think that's what we did. You know, and yeah, I mean, this is a point here, right? Bournemouth have 1 goal in 500 minutes. They created a lot against us because they played through our midfield so easily. That's why I don't think it was a good game. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like our performance today. I don't think it was good. I don't think the first 60. I thought Aston Villa was better, even though it wasn't great. Newcastle was the worst. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like our performance today. I thought we lost the ball constantly. Am I doing callers? Yeah, we can do a couple. I've got a couple minutes to do a few here. Not much, just a few minutes. But if you want to call in, Parth, we can do that. Give me your thoughts if you want to blow off a little steam for a minute. If anybody else does, we can do a couple. What's up, man?
Stupid fucking game. I had to get out of the room. My kid was in the other room. Can't use the language. Fucking deluded son of a bitch of that referee, Stuart Atwell, and the motherfucking bastard. How has he?
Tell us how you
How
really
is he
feel.
allowed to be in a job after repeating the same mistake in under 2 months?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that apology. The game was
Yeah.
poor,
No, I agree with
outright,
you.
but I
Yeah.
take the 3 points. I
Yeah.
take the 3 points. Like
Of course.
honestly, it was poor. This is the first time I thought before I was on the fence with Carrick. I still am, but the first time the doubts that I had of why he shouldn't get it are getting better. I guess the thing is the point of having a squad is to have a manager who can handle that squad.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't rotate, I know what I said last time when it's good that he uh bench Sesko at times, not every time, but he needs to change the squad. This game was tailor made for someone like Benjamin Sesko.
Yep.
You need that, especially after the crosses that we've seen against Villa. Villa, we played much better than what we played today. I take the point against Bournemouth away. It is a point, agreed, especially how we ended with 10 men. I think both were penalties. Both were
Yeah.
penalties, hands down. Like
Yeah. For me,
especially
both are penalties for sure.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, absolutely dog shit of a referee, that guy, and it's the same duo, Craig Pawson and Stuart
I
Atwell.
know. I know.
Like it's the only job I think you can shit. Like he can take a big dump on his desk and he still won't get fired.
I know.
Howard
They
Webb
have
would
complete
probably
like
lick that
immunity.
shit clean.
The
So I
referees.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's absolutely hilarious how bad can one person be at a job and still keep be in a job. I think Forrest called this guy out. They got fined.
Mm.
You know what? One good thing that we are doing is at least calling this out with Carrick
Yep.
and Bruno and stuff. At this moment, you can call him a cheat and still get a small fine. These people earn millions. They don't care about 200 grand, to be honest with you. That happened to
Yep.
Rodri. He didn't get a ban. Fucking call
Yep.
him a cheat. You
Yeah.
have precedents said that. Like,
Well, I'm glad we talked about it more because there's a lot of times we haven't, and when the
yeah,
players and the coach are talking about it, it's better to put the focus on it. But I'll be honest, I'm tired of it, of talking about it because
agreed.
not because it doesn't matter, but because it's been happening all year. Like I
No,
was saying
but
earlier, the
here's the
first
thing.
game of the season, we should have had a pen on Cunha, and nobody even talked
Yeah.
about it. And it's like
That's why it
it goes
keeps
on all the
repeating.
time.
When we got penalties, a lot of them, one of the seasons under Ollie Klopp called it out. Next season, Prout.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely nothing.
yeah,
It makes a difference to keep calling this out, and that is why even when you win, you keep calling this out because it puts pressure on these assholes. I really have started to have doubts over Michael Carrick. In what sense? I'll tell you. You need to be able to manage a squad. If you have two good players on that right wing, Ahmad and Mbumo. No point having this is like City had Mahrez and I think Bernardo used to play or whoever, but they were like two top quality right wingers. You need to be able to play them both.
yep,
You take one off, put the other one on.
yeah, yeah.
Just trying to shoehorn everyone in there. And today showed why Casemiro shouldn't get that extension.
Oh, agreed,
Uh,
agreed.
I mean, he gives us a lot of stuff offensively, agreed, but off the ball. And I don't think today was the game to have that fluid front three, to be honest with you. You need a
No, I don't think so.
focal point striker, and you have one.
Yep,
Not Rasmus, but Sesko. I
exactly.
understand if you had like a bum like Rasmus out there,
Yeah,
but I mean, absolutely, I was like frustrated. That's why I was sitting around there. Like honestly, but yeah, we had a very poor game. Like I don't know, people calling this a good game. I didn't think so. They
I
dominated us
don't
for
know.
the first time. I thought, and if you remember how we played with under Fletcher, we were quite open. This is the first time I thought under Carrick we were not defensively solid because one thing
I
I could
agree. I
see
don't
we were
think we were
compact.
defensively solid. Yeah, I was kind
Not
of
today.
surprised that people talk about it this way. We got really off the hook
First
quite a
time
number of
today
occasion from
running through.
yeah. Right,
And it
right.
was the
Like I
same
said,
issue
right
that
from
we
4 minutes, they were in on net 2-0 and they screwed it up. And I was
yeah.
like, we haven't given up a chance like that in weeks. This was
No,
not a
exactly. And
compact game.
I hope it's a one-off, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to beat Leeds, to be honest. Keep the pressure piling up. Don't get complacent. We need top 4,
Yeah.
top 5,
Sure.
get Champions League, and use this time to look for
100%.
alternatives. I'm not saying sack him or don't give him a job right now, but if you do have, like, let's say there's nobody available, like, obviously don't give it to someone like Iraola or someone like that. But other than that, I think, like, if it's, then obviously it's Carrick. I mean, but
Yep.
yeah, if you get like a top manager, go for it at this stage, because we've seen enough to tell us what management issues are there in terms of lack of
Yep.
squad management and stuff like that. So let's see. But like, absolutely, I think I would take the point, to be honest with you. If you'd given me a point,
Yeah, I kind of
at the
expected a
start,
point at the start of the week. Yeah, I'm not
yeah,
unhappy with
it's
the
a tough
point.
game, to be honest with you. Away at Bournemouth,
Yeah.
we've not done well, I don't think.
I want to be blown away by Carrick in the expectation that he's going to get the job. I want to feel more convinced. Like, usually when you're hiring a manager from somewhere else, you get to hire them off the back of like something special they've done. So you're watching them win a Champions League or win a title or do something like that, and you're going, like, whether it works out or not, you can see what they're doing. That's great. Like when Klopp has come in, what he did in Germany right before that, what Pep did when like the best managers. Sir Alex was hired off the back of winning a European Cup with Aberdeen. Like, come on, like and I guess it's just, I'm not saying that it can't work, because I'm kind of mixed, but probably more in the camp of giving Carrick the job right now. But I'm just kind of still waiting to see something from him where I'm going,
like a
now I'm
fluid, more
convinced he's the
dominant game,
guy.
like a 4-0, fuck you, this is Man United.
Like, I just want to see something like where can you play anything but a 4-4-2, because I think it's limited. I think a 4-4-2 is a good compact
4-4-2
shape,
doesn't matter.
It's
not
fluid,
the
formation
to be honest
itself.
With you.
It's more like, I just like, can you add a player to the midfield once in a while? If you want, you know
like
what I'm saying?
Did put Pogba on the wing. That was actually keeping the 4-3-2-1
like that,
like 4-2-3-1. Sorry, but something like that. I'm not saying 3-5-2 whatever.
Like, I would have brought, like I was saying, I would have maybe brought Mount on for earlier for somebody else
on the right,
to add a man to the midfield to help. Just something like, I just want to see something creative.
No, that's a fair point. Formations are flexible. I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, agreed. But that's the whole point about, not using your squad. You need to be able to use your squad when you are building a squad. Let's say we get 2 or 3 midfielders next summer, but if he's going to stick to doing the same thing he's doing with Ahmad, Mbeumo, Sesko, and Cunha right now, it's useless practically. Yeah, I mean, let's see. But I'm only if it's like, I don't know, question marks, Nagelsmann or Enrique, I don't think is coming. And that is why I think he'll get it, because of his credibility, because of the lack of options out there who are ready to step in. More that, basically. But yeah, let's see. Absolutely. But I would love if all the others, like fucking Chelsea,
let's hope they lose some
drop points. We need that. At least we're sitting in third. Worst case scenario. So let's see.
All right, my friend. Thank you.
Bye.
See you later, buddy.
Take care, man. Bye.
Tiger, if you're here, can you unmute so I can add you on?
Absolutely.
All right. How you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, I'm good. You were sending the messages in. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm good. Just in this rush hour traffic headed home, but I watched the game at work, and you can probably imagine, as soon as we went up 2-1, I was standing. I mean, it's Friday, so nobody's really in the office, but I was standing throwing fists, and then at the 2-2, I almost flipped my computer. I was like, it's crazy how emotional like football can be, especially when before it's your team. When it comes to Carrick, I still deep down would say, these are things that we can like potentially work on in terms of his in-game management, because there have been games where his in-game management was really good. And this game, it wasn't his best game for sure. His decisions weren't the best for sure. And so, even going back to what you said, like hiring a manager off the cusp of doing something great. I mean, that's kind of what we did with Amarim, to be honest. Right?
Yeah, and it doesn't always work, but
of course, slapped up Man City and we're like, Sporting beat Man City 4-0. What? And but going back to Carrick, personally for me, I would still give him the job. There are, some doubts that I think can be qualmed with, because there are things out of his control, right? Like I would still give him the job, just even off of coming into the job, off of what Amarim was essentially trying to do, and what Carrick came in and did after just a handful of matches, right? The ability to galvanize the team, that previously everybody was like, this team shit, Amarim this, that, and to do what he's done, obviously, to me, is something really big, right? But definitely there are things out of his control, squad, players, midfielders, XYZ. These are things out of his control. But like you said in this stream, there are still areas that are within his control,
right?
That he needs to do his best to affect. And that's in-game management. That's substitutions, like you said. Like, having Mbeumo and Ahmed on at the same time and Mbeumo in the false nine. I'm like, first of all, I love him. I love Mbeumo. I love Mbeumo. I played football. I was a striker. I was a Ibrahimovic Sesko type striker. I'm 6'4.5", and I was fast. So I was a center forward. So I understand that when you have team, and this is what my super chats were about. You got to analyze your team before you go into these matches. Look at the defense. Look at their midfield. Look at their pass games. Is this something where we can utilize a big striker? Because putting on Sesko with little time left and expecting him to do magic is yes, it's football. Yes, it's professional football. Yes, it's what he gets paid for. But there's an element of that that's unfair. Like, if I was Sesko, I'd be like, look, so you guys are swinging balls in and I'm not in the game. Now you put me on and you expect me to pull this rabbit out of the hat, And, like I said, that's football, professional football. That's what they're getting for. But element of that's a little fair. There has to be some deeper thought in terms of,
I agree.
Your formation, that in-game management formation. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Obviously, we know the midfielders are issues. So there's got to be times where you say, hey, look, we're up 2-1. There's no need for Mbeumo to be on it in the center. Maybe put on a Sesko, maybe remove somebody else and put somebody else in the midfield. Load the midfield. If you gotta shore things up and play, like maybe a 4-2, maybe 3-1, have a lone striker. You're up.
We're just a 4-3-3. Just
you're
just
up
put
already.
3 men in the middle.
Like there's we already know the midfield is an issue, so why not try to bolster it? Even if you have to swap your formation, get an extra body in the midfield, and then work with that. That's in past times that I've seen the top coaches, Klopps and your Peps. Not just your in-game management substitutions, but being able to see the momentum is shifting. We're getting passed through and ran through in the midfield.
And that's what I thought, the 15 minutes beforehand, regardless of the ref, the 15 minutes before we concede that second goal was bad. And you could see it shifting, and you could see exactly what they were doing. And I'm just going, don't make a change too late. And it was too late. It was too late.
Absolutely.
That was just the frustrating part.
It's if you're out on the waters and you're going fishing, that's one thing to talk about the fish, but we don't talk about fish when you're not fishing, because we already know what fish are going to do. They're going to swim, right? We don't debate over whether a fish is going to swim or not. And we shouldn't be debating over whether Premier League referees are going to help us in the game, because we know they're shite. We already know they're shite. We've known this for decades. So yes, we should have had a penalty. It wasn't given. We understand that. But it's also well, if you don't take your chances and you're not clinical and you leave it in the referee's hands, who's notorious, all of them, even the best of them, they're notorious for fucking up games. What can you expect? What can you expect?
Yep.
Right? There's
Exactly.
still a good amount in our hands that we
Yep.
need to do a lot better at taking the cusp of,
Yep.
while we're waiting to fix things that are kind of outside, so to speak, our hands.
Yep. I agree with you. And that's all I'm saying. And that's the frustrating part, is that
Very.
all else aside, I think at 2-1 that game's in our hands and we go on to mess it up at that point.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hoping to see a little bit different. That's all.
Yeah. Hopefully Carrick can kind of, show at least small signs of progress in kind of turning that around, because if his in-game management continues to remain stagnant where it is or potentially get worse, then it's gonna be hard to not necessarily to back him, but it's gonna be hard to sit and have Carrick be there when you're like, look, man, you've had so many opportunities to like improve this, and it's not improving. So it's like you kind of put the decision like outside of your hands, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. Any manager that we bring in, if it's not Carrick, it doesn't matter. Any manager we bring in is going to struggle here at United, because who knows? The next manager that comes in that we say this is our permanent manager, if it's not Carrick, maybe he's good at in-game management, but he has his favorites. So he's bad at in-game substitutions.
They all do. They all do.
Obviously, so like maybe he's fluid with his formations, but bad with his substitutions. And we're gonna cuss him and be like, bro, you're fucking the game up because you're not this. And every manager is gonna have some type of deficiency. Like, you're never gonna find your out-of-box perfect manager, but you even in the areas that you need improvement, so to speak, you got to see a bit more, especially games like this where we could have grinded it out and got a 2-1 win.
Just to feel confident. That's all. Just to feel confident.
Yeah. You're up 2-1. Shore up the midfield if need be. And sometimes you got to do a little bit of. You got to do a little bit of that dirtiness. You got to. Sometimes it's, if you're Mourinho playing alone every game of your life, that's one thing. But sometimes you got to resort to that. You got to resort to to get the result,
Exactly.
And that's
I think 2-1 away,
well.
we could have just been more smart about seeing that game out. That's really it.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
Absolutely. Like goodness, I love Casemiro. I don't necessarily know if I want him to get another year. He's clutch for us at times, but also like, Cass, he gets a yellow. He's got to come off. Take him off. Take him off. What do you want? Like, why wait? Why wait? It's already imminent that he's gonna come off. Why wait? And that could have been the difference between, potentially that 2-1 or shoring up the midfield and 2-2. And honestly, there were a number of instances we should have lost that game.
Yeah, I know. Like I say, I think it's interesting seeing the talk about it, because I've seen people say we should have been up 2 goals in the first half, and I'm going, well, you forget the goals they should have scored right in the beginning. And I don't know, man.
I'm like, if they were any sort of type of clinical, it would have been we would have been finished.
Exactly. And you could say that in a few of the games recently too, so that's okay.
Yeah.
But long break, decisions to be made. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yep. Thanks, James. Appreciate it. I'll be back on next time we got callers.
Sounds good. See ya. Bye. All right. One more message here I missed from CMC. I'm not 100% convinced by Carrick, but he's tolerable while we're rebuilding. We're going to need a lead coach with a lead squad, though. And yeah, I'm just saying that's where I'm at as well. I don't disagree with you at all. I'm not convinced, but I can manage it. I'm just a little frustrated sometimes. I wish, I don't want to see things that, I wish I had a few fewer doubts. That's all. I just wish I had a few fewer doubts where I would go, little things like, don't give me the obvious, like the Mbumo versus Sheshko thing to me is an obvious one. I just go, I don't want to carry that doubt, but you're kind of forcing my hand to feel doubt. But let's see what happens. All right, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow and over the next bunch of days with lot more positive things to talk about in terms of the future, in terms of the signings, in terms of what we're going to do moving forward over this long break. Okay. Thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It's very late for a lot of you, and I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.